good evening. Welcome to Detroit's Black and White, our Wednesday evening edition. Today, you just have the two amigos on the show. You have Jim Nardone, former chief of police, of the Trenton Police Department. Hey, Jim.
Good evening.
And you have myself, Vanessa Moss. Adolph is still mending. He comes in when he can. And Allan is not with us tonight, but Jim and I are capable of manning the ship. What we're going to ask that you do is this. If you are watching, you know what we want you to do. Listen, you know what we want you to do. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. You can catch us on all social media platforms, Instagram, X, Facebook. And hey, Facebookers, good evening. Tell your friends about the greatest show on these YouTube streets. And oh yeah, I forgot, we do also have a website, DetroitInBlackandWhite.com. And in a chat, what we want you to do is this. Not only do we want you to like, subscribe, and share and say hello and share your opinions and views, we want you to give a shout out to Lady T, our producer. She is here every Wednesday, every Friday, every Saturday doing this. This is a labor of love. Give a shout out to our producer, Lady T. So you want to start shouting out to the people who has joined us, Jim? Can you read
Hello,
it?
Karen. Good evening, Karen Winston. Good evening to you. Kenneth Reed. It's been a long day. He's on fumes. We'll sit back, Kenneth, and say something brilliant like you usually do. Janet Overall, another brilliant contributor. Thank you. Duela. Hey, Duela. Good evening to you. Felicia Dean. And that's our crew and everybody else that's out there tonight. Thank you for tuning in. If you catch us later and we don't see you, we appreciate you checking on the show. G Money Hollywood 4116. Thank you. Another brilliant contributor. We are, it's the two of us tonight and it's your show. And we appreciate everybody here participating, being part of the show. It makes the show a heck of a lot better. Jan. Hey, Jan. Good evening to you. It makes the show entertaining and enlightening. So keep talking to us because it makes the show go by so much faster when we have good comments.
So we do have a guest that's coming on later on this evening. So when he gets backstage, I'll introduce him. We're going to talk about something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting how he is making a living. But before we went on, Jim and I decided that today is y'all show. So what is it that you want to talk about? If you have an outrage, put your outrage in there. If you want to inform us of something, you do that. It's the people show today. Okay. I will say, Lady T, you getting the shout outs. Felicia D said, shout out Lady T. Somebody else said, shout out. Oh, Kenneth Reed said, gave you a shout out. So did Karen Winston. Okay.
So I have a little bit of an outrage too when we get to it, but
okay. Go ahead and get yours. I don't have.
I just was thinking a little bit about today, and I don't. Alan's not here, so somebody has to talk about Donald Trump. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh Lord!
I've been reading a little bit more about Saudi Arabia and this crown prince known as MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. They had a big dinner for him in Washington. And to me, this guy is a brutal dictator, right? He's a prince, but he's really a dictator. They kill. The CIA did an assessment of the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, a Virginia resident, in 2018 that was over in Turkey, and they dismembered him. And that was MBS's security staff that it looks like did the killing. I guess the White House is our house, right? And when you invite somebody like that, I understand he's worth anywhere from 25 billion. They say to $1 trillion, and they say it's important that we maintain, this relationship with Saudi Arabia, I guess. But that's a brutal dictator there, and when he's welcomed at the White House, and they're having a big party for him, and I just think it's a bad look. Hitler-esque, I guess.
Well, there are some people that will say that the dictator greeting the dictator. Some people may feel that way.
Hey,
I,
Willis, go
I
ahead.
agree with you. It is grotesque. It's very it's disturbing, but unfortunately, it's not shocking.
Hey, Miss Sheila, we don't know 2129. We're not sure why you're getting two different notifications, but we're glad you're here.
Oh, you know what, Miss Sheila? I wonder if she's getting two different notifications because the week that was, the week that was is on Detroit in black and white. And sometimes when it shows up, when I get a notification, I know we're not on, but it's the week that was, which is the Deadline Detroit show. So that might be the reason why, because they're all on the Detroit in black and white channel. So that might be it, as well as reality strikes.
But back to Saudi Arabia. I'd like to know what our contributors here think about that. Am I wrong for saying that it's this guy was a pariah and all of a sudden he's welcomed? Is this just an indication of the current administration and they're completely obsessed with money? So the oil and the money leads into the Jeffrey Epstein situation, right? Jeffrey Epstein had a ton of money and it attracts people, right? So I understand they have to have a relationship with Saudi Arabia, but kissing this guy's ass is problematic for me.
So what do you suggest that he do? You said kissing his behind is, so what's the alternative?
I don't know what the alternative is, but
If you invited somebody, if I'm inviting somebody into my house, right? Which he was invited into the house, you got to be a gracious host.
even if he's a cold-blooded killer, would you let the murderer?
To me, if I'm not inviting a cold-blooded killer to my house because I don't want you to kill me. I might say something smart and you might get mad and kill me. But to me, if you invite someone into your home, and for all intents and purposes, the White House is his home, that you have to treat your guests, graciously. You have to be a gracious host. And to your point, Jim, you do have to have some kind of relationship with Saudi Arabia because of the oil and the money. So I don't know what's the alternative. I'm asking you that. What would be the alternative?
I don't know what the answer is, but to cozy up to a country that, well, he's the guy that had to reform that let women drive in 2018. So he's a hero because he let a few women drive over there. They still can't really do much without a male telling them what they can do in Saudi Arabia. You can't. There's no free speech. They will imprison, torture, and execute people that speak out against the government.
Well, listen, some people argue that we don't have free speech here.
Sure.
Some people get pissed when you say something. Oh, you said something about you said something about him. You shouldn't be saying nothing about him. They would try to close your channel down. They would, some instances, if you say something, free speech does not mean that free speech does not mean that you can't be held accountable for your free speech. But some people will argue that there's some similarities between us and them. There are some people that will argue that. So,
yeah, you're right.
what
So,
say you?
well, we have G Money Hollywood's outrage, and I think it's time to move on from mine and get into G Money Hollywood's. Can you see it?
I can. His is about these outrageous. I think it says something about these healthcare healthcare prices. I'm going to it right now because it's funny. He must have heard Lady T and I talking before we went hot. He said, "What's up with these outrageous healthcare prices? We had open enrollment today, and our company premium went up 36% for the 2026 fiscal year. I'm pissed, and I'm going to be my own doctor. No eating bad food." Well,
it's a start.
Right. Well, and good luck with not eating bad food because let them tell it everything you eat is bad. But before we went on air, Lady T and I was talking about the healthcare prices. That was one of the hangups with the government shutdown is the increase in healthcare prices. But my problem is, why aren't they going after these doggone insurance companies? These insurance companies basically have a gun to our head. This is ridiculous. It does not have to be that way. It does not. And then they get to dictate to you what doctors you can go to, what kind of treatment you can have, etc. And you're paying these exorbitant prices. So what's up with the? I'm with you, G Money. What's up with these outrageous healthcare prices? But what's up with these healthcare insurance?
I got my letter today.
What, you got yours today? I haven't even checked my mail today. I'm sure
that's from the city.
And ridiculous.
In 2010, I always felt fortunate to have health care. And the governor at that time, the Flint water governor, decided that it would be that employers and employees should share more. The employees should share more of the cost, and that way they'd be more responsible. I don't see that happening, but we went to a 20% segment that we pay cost sharing for healthcare, and I'm sure that's what Teresa's talking about. It just keeps going up and up and up. So it's as much as it's a lot of money. I'm not going to get into specifics, but 20% of is, seems like, a few $1,000s turned into many $1,000s. So I don't want to, I understand the challenges that the city has because it's so expensive, but and when I say that, I also understand the retirees like Karen and some of these people that work for Detroit. I remember speaking to a friend of mine from the Detroit Police Department. I said, well, how do you take care of healthcare? He says, this is how I take care of healthcare, Jim. I pay for it. So he doesn't pay 20%, he pays 100%, or he did at the time. So I guess it's a double-edged. So I'm unhappy that the 20% has risen to such a high level, but then again, it's only 20%. It's sad. It's unfortunate. There has to be a better way.
Yes. You know what, Jim? It's 8:45. We're going to shoot to a commercial. Then we're going to come back. We're going to have our guests come on. Then we'll go back to the conversation. Detroit Black and White, our Wednesday evening.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
We're back, Detroit in Black and White, our Wednesday evening edition. At the top of the hour, I indicated that we had a guest today. And our guest is Mr. Clifton Padgett from HC Mortuary Transport. It is a mortuary transporting company. They provide professional and compassionate mortuary transportation services to the community. Their belief is that even during difficult times, transportation should never be a barrier to during the time of loss and grief. I will say that I met Mr. Padgett quite some time ago. This is over a year and a half ago when I was campaigning. I met him on a campaign trail, and we were both meeting with seasoned folks. And this is a subject that people do not like to talk about, but it's a very real subject. And it's a very real issue. So welcome, Mr. Padgett. Thank you
hello.
Joining us on Detroit Black and White. I'm sure our co-hosts will probably have questions for you, but I gave a brief introduction. Why don't you tell our co-hosts not only what you do, why you do it, and how you came to um, being involved in this line of business?
Okay, years ago, my name is Clifton Padgett, of course. Years ago, I got put into the funeral business by mistake, I believe, but I had a plan. And when I went to the cemetery, I started doing cremations and burying people. And then the city had a problem years ago with unclaimed bodies, and it touched me. And I went and we claimed some of the bodies, and we had to put them to rest in different types of ways. And so as time went on, I got into working with other funeral homes. And I come to realize that people don't have the money. And I come to realize people that's elderly was beginning to be left in funeral homes for days when nobody noticed them. And I couldn't understand why. But when I did my research, I realized that most people in elderly homes, no one comes to see them. So if a person's missing for a week or two, no one thinks different or nothing's wrong. And what happens is those people have died. And so as me witnessing that and looking at that and seeing that, I've seen people at homes in their home die, and the city sometimes be overwhelmed. So I came up with an idea: if we can come in a timely manner in an environment where anything can break out, family gets into fights, the body can be composed where no one can recognize them, and we can move them in a safe and humane way in a timely manner, I think it'll work out for everybody. And we also have other services as in helping people learn how to find graves, and helping people and teaching them how to be able to do a funeral. Most people don't know how to do that. But my main focus is making sure someone gets put up or put away in the correct way.
So I'm going to ask a question, and Jim, I'm sure you're going to have some questions. You said something about help people find graves. Could you tell us more about that? And I'm going to use. I remember when my father, my brother passed, and then my brother passed right after. This is in the 80s, and there was a cemetery in the neighborhood, Myers Schoolcraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
City of Detroit was responsible for that cemetery. Anyway, they find out that they were burying people on top of people. It was all kind of mismanagement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to go visit the grave site, I can. I don't even know if they're there. I know that place is closed down. So when you say you help people find graves, what does that look like? And how do people contact you and say, hey, Mr. Padgett, I want to find a grave. What does that look like?
So just for instance, I think 3 weeks ago, I helped a young lady find her loved one. When you go to a cemetery and they give you the information and tell you where to go, most people look at the numbers in the ground, and they don't realize that the numbers in the ground is not basically identifying where your loved one is, because the ground shifts. And then if your loved ones had a headstone and you haven't been to see them in years or two, or maybe even 3 or 4, that headstone will sink because the ground and everything sinks. So what I would do is do a research and ask the cemetery what loved one or what monument has been around that individual. So if they say, well, Mr. Smith was in row 5 and my loved one was in row 6, I would know 16 feet from row 5 would be my loved one's area, and I would have to walk it down. Then what else? What you really do need is a probe, and a probe is nothing but a steel rod to see if your loved one's headstone is sunk. Most people go out there and they're in their feelings, they're not in their right mind, they're crying, things of that nature, or intoxicated, believe it or not, because I've seen it all.
I believe the intoxication.
Yeah, they be out of their mind. So you have to basically walk them through it, calm them down, and we get as close as we can to find them. But it's really an easy process for someone who's done it. I've done it almost 21 years. So I've had some good finds and some bad finds. And the thing about when you said about burying on top of each other, they call double depths. or they have a 3-tier. A 3-tier is when it's a vault that holds 3 different individuals.
Mhm.
And if sometimes the family doesn't know, and the reason the family doesn't know because the individual that was paying for the person's funeral didn't have enough finances. So you may see 2 headstones or maybe 3. And it's not that they're just throwing people on top of each other. That's not the case.
So they're in a vault. They're
Yeah.
they're in a concrete vault, and it could be 2 or 3 people, is what you're suggesting.
Yes, but it would be one single one. But it also is a such thing as a double. And that's for husband and wives or individual. Say if service to put someone down is $2,200, they would charge the one individual $11 and another individual another $1,100. But they would ask and see if it was okay with the first person family to see if it's okay to do it.
So you started doing this because you had a particular interest in it and you developed it into a business. Is that right?
Yes. And my interest
So,
was, go ahead.
so you feel like it's your life's mission to lay these people to rest that belong in the ground or belong cremated or whatever the case is. Mr. Duckett, who is a frequent contributor, says he's in the funeral home industry. People need help during these heartbreaking moments. Thank you, Mr. Duckett. And thank you, Mr. Padgett, for doing the work that you do.
I appreciate it.
I think it's one of those often overlooked professions, and people don't understand how much emotion is tied into it. So it seems that you took on some of this emotion and you developed a business, but it's more than that to you. It's more than a business to you.
It is. It's a goal because I believe everybody's supposed to be put down the correct way. Everybody should know where their loved ones at.
Right.
Everybody should be taken care of the correct way. Everybody should be found. I shouldn't have to look and wonder where my cousins is. I shouldn't have to look where my mother's is because of my mindset of me at the funeral, not being there in my right mind and come back a week later and can't find my mother. And then when I go to the office of the cemetery, most of them are kind of rude or they're just to the point, direct to the point, and they don't give you the information that you need to find your loved one. And I believe this, when I was in the funeral business, I just knew that I was one person a lot of people would not forget because you're never going to forget who buried your loved one.
So, Mr. Padgett, you said that you also go in because sometimes the medical examiner's office, they're not able to get to the bodies in a timely fashion. How do people get in contact with you, one? And two, do you have to have some licensing? Do you wrap the bodies up? I mean, just describe to us what exactly what you're doing.
The licenses have changed from one year to the next, especially after COVID. So I'm in the process of waiting for some information for some more licensing to do that. But the same way the morgue would come or a hearse would come and doing a body, and hearses do pick up at just a little minivan. The same way they would come, what you do is you come with a gurney. You have to come prepared and covered up with gloves, face masks, eyewear. And you come and you have to basically look over the room because you can't just come rushing in as you picking up furniture or refrigerator. That's the difference. And I've seen it happen different kind of ways. You have to come in a compassionate way. You have to come in like you are family. You have to be able to talk to them as you've been there before. You have to grieve with them. You're almost like a counselor because you have to get through. It's always a family member that's upset, and there's another one that's trying to calm them down. You might be in the midst of a fight. So you have to come in there with respect and just be honest and try your best to move the person as light as you can because everybody's watching. It could be 20 people in one room and you trying to get a gurney in that room or in that house. Nobody wants to move, or you move the arm one way and they're upset. So you have to, it's very touchy, but I've done it several times, and you just have have compassion.
And I was one step earlier than you in the process as a police officer. I wish Ira was here tonight because Ira was a homicide investigator in Detroit that could talk a little bit about, the step before you arrive, right?
Right.
So you're dealing with the family. I was going to ask you about the medical examiner's office. I remember a homicide case that we had that was unsolved for many years, and the body was eventually cremated. Of course, they do DNA and save some of the, but people knew who the victim was, but nobody ever claimed the body. So eventually, sadly, she was cremated. But it's personal to me because there were people out there that knew, but they didn't seem to be too interested. And you probably deal with that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I used to. When I worked at the cemetery, I had so many. My mother had passed, and I was kind of lost. And I got invited to a church on a Mother's Day program. And when I went to this church, they just took me in, and they sent me to do things. I was playing the drums and all that. And when they sent me over to the cemetery, I had no clue. At first, I was scared. So I knew I couldn't understand, like, God, what are you doing? But he did it. And everything that he threw my way has been a cremation tech, going to the morgue, and going to just dealing with death in general. And back to the unclaimed bodies, I think I may have picked up 60. I think it was during the time where they had the freezers in the back of the morgue.
Right. During COVID?
Before COVID.
You're talking about, okay, you're not talking about COVID. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before COVID. And what I saw was just, I can't even really explain it. It would be kind of crazy, but it's just the way people just leave people. It's unbelievable. It's just, even when I used to have to bury people, and some people would cry, would be fights, but I just thank God that I was strong enough, and he put this in me to keep going and try to figure out a way to give some kind of service back to people that need to be serviced to, and that's the people that's deceased.
And it's expensive, right? It's an expensive endeavor to bury somebody. It's an expensive endeavor to buy a plot of land to bury somebody, or even to cremate. Where does the money come from? Sometimes when
the state gives you $200 to $600, maybe even $700. But there's different ways of doing it. That's why most people are going to cremations. You have to really do the research, as I was stating before earlier, that I would help you or help a loved one find out what place we can go to, what funeral homes won't take advantage of you. And you have to be able to come up what you can come up with. Funerals are just not funerals. You have celebrations.
Right.
You have memorials when a person is not there. And you can have an urn there. You can just play music. You just have to give the idea of what you're trying to do and what you can do. And most people don't realize that.
So what would your advice be to somebody that passed and the family doesn't have the resources to go through with it? They can contact you and you can help them in that particular instance?
They can give me a call, or they can really call the state, and the state will try to help them. Then after they call the state, they can give me a call or call funeral homes. And funeral homes have people that help you. Some of them do, but most of them don't. But you can give me a call.
Mr. Padgett, we have a couple of comments here. G Money Hollywood asks, do you provide any of your programs? Do you provide financial assistance for those who do not have money or insurance to have a decent burial?
Not at this moment, but in God's will, I will be.
Okay. Edward All says, thank you for doing what you do. Stephanie Jackson, shout out to Steph. Do you take the bodies to the morgue or the funeral home?
Whatever the family asks me to take them.
Okay.
But it has to be more.
Can you explain to the folks how the medical examiner signs off on a body? Can you explain that and what you're faced with sometimes when you go to a scene like that?
Okay. When I go to the morgue, 9 times out of 10, I take someone else with me that they're familiar with, and that individual, we talk, and they say what happened, which they already know. At the scene, you're going to get 2 numbers. You're going to get a death certificate. Well, not a death certificate number. You're going to get a number of what happened and the police report number. And once you take that to them, to the morgue.
Well, I'm talking about even before you get to the morgue. So if they get to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's office, in this case Wayne County, their body was not released by the medical examiner. So the medical examiner didn't arrive at a location and release the body. So therefore, it ends up at the medical examiner's office. It's a doctor's not signing off or releasing the body, or the medical examiner's physician is not signing off, right?
Right.
So therefore, then they end up at the morgue, and then you would you call the morgue. I think they call it the medical examiner's office, but so that's when you step in. So now you're trying to resolve a death that's already at the medical examiner's office. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Yeah, you're partially correct. What happens is, God forbid someone passes at home, and when the police arrives, and it's a natural death. There's
Right.
nothing that no one has to come but the examiner with a van to come take them to the morgue, or the family's already called a funeral home. 9 times out of 10, a funeral home may send someone to come get the loved one, but that depends on how long they're there, because that person can be on another run. The examiner van has so many runs to make in the city of Detroit, as you know.
Right. Unless it's a hospice case, which is clearly resolved, that you don't even need a medical examiner.
Exactly. In that case, I could just come and get the information and take them where the family would like to go.
I forgot. I was looking at these comments. Somebody asked, "What if it was a crime was committed?" I guess they're asking, do you still move those bodies?
It depends on what kind of crime. If the crime is 9 times out of 10 too gruesome, no, because the body's going to be there for a minute for the police and the detective to do what they have to do. And at that time they're there, give the morgue time, whatever they're doing, to get to that scene in time to take the body. My job is
go ahead. No, but the doctor typically won't release that. That body will typically have to go to the medical examiner's office for further investigation.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. Do you work with the medical examiner's office? Are you independent? I'm asking you several questions. Does the medical examiner's office have a problem with you doing this type of business? Is there some kind of conflict, or is there some kind of competition?
It's always competition, but no conflict with no one, because I'm independent.
Okay.
I think another reason is why I decided to do this is because there's so much paperwork, interference of different things that happen. Like he said before, there's certain scenes that can be done, has to be done a certain way. Then there's some that the morgue could be doing something else that's more, I wouldn't say important, but more tedious than what I would be doing.
They're always overwhelmed, right, Mr. Padgett? The medical examiner's office is always overwhelmed. They have very talented people that many are retired from the Detroit Police Department and some other police agencies that do some of these runs. They're very talented, but I think your point is they have other things to do too. And
exactly. I wouldn't say that there was a list of what's important, but sometimes you have to move according to what's being done. I guess
they're just overwhelmed
by
the workload. I guess I'll put it that way. Is that right?
Yeah, I would take that. That's I would agree with you.
Okay, well, Mr. Padgett, if you don't mind, please tell everyone how they can get in contact with you should they need your services, and any other information, any last parting words that you want to leave with our viewers of Detroit Black and White.
Okay, my phone number is 313-878-7105. I'm not.
We'll post it. You're fine. Just give it to us and we'll get it out there.
I'm not savvy with everything. I have little notes and stuff. My email is hcscarlettmorton@gmail. And anything that you can ask pertaining to anything that got to do with the funeral, I think I can get someone some help, even in just how to set up a funeral, how to prepare for a funeral, because a lot of people don't know that either.
Okay. All right, Mr. Padgett, thank you so much for coming on Detroit in Black and White. And hopefully we'll see you again. I know I'll see you.
Thank you for what you do.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
All right, bye-bye.
Wow. So you can imagine when I encountered Mr. Padgett for the first time, and I'm like, you talking about what? You do what? Because I had never heard of anyone doing that before. It's quite interesting. And because he does his presentation with seasoned people, believe it or not, they were very, and I guess because they're seasoned, people have been very receptive to Mr. Padgett and the information that he gives, as well as his service. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get back to our comments.
Please.
Detroit Black and White, our Wednesday evening edition.
Homeownership opportunities are rising in the city of Detroit, and there's a house out there that's right for you and your family. You don't even have to worry about credit or getting a loan. You can win a house for as little as $1,000 and pay for the renovation cost as you go. It all starts at buildingdetroit.org and the Detroit Land Bank Authority. Our auction and Own It Now programs offer a variety of houses and neighborhoods all over the city of Detroit. These homes are in desperate need of repair and new ownership. You can begin by going to our interactive map and detailed property listings to find the right fit for you. It won't be easy, and renovation costs are not cheap, but our compliance team is there every step of the way. We will help you track your progress and connect you with local discounts to save you more money. We have already sold more than 15,000 homes in the city of Detroit, and our inventory is shrinking fast, so you don't want to miss out on this wonderful opportunity. Start your home buying journey today by visiting buildingdetroit.org. Homeowners.
We're back, Detroit Black and White, our Wednesday evening edition. You have myself as well as Jim Nardone. Adolph is still off mending. He will join us when he can. And Allan is not with us this evening. I'm going to go to some of the comments, and then we can go back and revisit the subject regarding healthcare. William Davis, first of all, Mr. Davis, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Detroit in Black and White. Good to see you. Ann Ricks said, please explain why so many calls are geared to seniors. We receive approximately 7 to 10 calls per day. Who is profiting from this? Jim, you want to take a stab at it? They probably figure you're at home. You're seniors, you're at home, so they figure they could call your vulnerable population so they could sell you almost anything. And let's not talk about the crooks out there that will take advantage of people that are very vulnerable.
Well, it's interesting. I had a talk with one of my specialty physicians today. I'll call him that because I don't want anybody to identify him, but he was talking about some of the as Karen's talking about, the healthcare as you reach, the retirement age, the 65, some of these advantage plans, and the suggestion was these advantage plans are taking advantage of you.
Right.
It's just unfortunate that people get so much information and so many phone calls and so much garbage out there. Hello, Derek Henry. Good evening to you. Good to see you. Jill Sheridan said I came in late and it's a somber mood. We're not somber, Jill. We're just talking about, when you have a death in your family and people that just don't really know where to turn. It's kind of like you never need an attorney, right, Vanessa, until you need an attorney. And if you don't have one on speed dial, when someone says, hey, you need an attorney, it turns into a big deal.
That's interesting that you say that, because we know that everybody that leaves here is going to have to have some kind of plans, be it cremation or whatever the case may be. So that's a reality. Mr. Padgett is a reality, just like an attorney is a reality. I meet people all the time, and people may ask me, what do you do? And I tell them, I don't need an attorney. I said, you think you need an attorney just for criminal matters? Get out of here. You're right, Jim. And then once they find out you're an attorney, this is the insulting thing.
They
Just
want
like
it for
the
free.
seasoned people get, yes, the seasoned people get 7 to 10 calls a day. I can't tell you how many calls I get from people. Oh, I just got one little question to ask you. Listen, I went to school for this. This is what you're not calling me just to chop it up. You calling me asking me for something in my profession. And so
You don't ask your hair. You don't ask your barber, your hairstylist to cut
you
your hair
don't.
for
No,
free.
you do not.
You don't
Look,
ask
they do it
your
too.
accountant to do your taxes for
No.
free.
Well,
And I've
they
always been under that position. I
right.
had somebody that was a stylist in the family, and she retired. I was like, no, you get paid for what you do. So we obviously had it. Everybody should get paid. Thank you, Theodore Perry, for tuning in. We appreciate having you, seeing you on the show tonight. Thanks.
So if
Hello
you
to
guys
you.
are seeing me look at another screen, I'm looking at another screen because for some reason I'm going to have to get Lady T to help me out. The screen that I usually, look at and where I stream from, for some reason my comments are not coming up. So I'm using 2
Well, I can
devices.
read it. I can read a few of them. There's G
Well, go
Money
ahead.
Hollywood.
Yeah, because I got to lean over and read the other screen.
About the holidays, I guess the media has reported that a lot of people do not plan on having a turkey or traditional Thanksgiving dinner this year due to cost. How about that, people? What's the solution to that? I saw some of the Lions cheerleaders and a Lions player. I forget unfortunately his name escapes me. That was a first round draft choice. They were giving out turkeys today. I don't know what the solution to that is. It's unfortunate. Eric and G Money are talking a lot about medical issues and care, and they're kind of Eric had made a comment about PPOs versus HMOs, and Kenneth Reed talks about his Diana home hospice took 7 hours from the time she transitioned, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kenneth. It should never take 7 hours. That's not empathetic people. They need to get it better than that. 7 hours. I understand there's a process, but hospice is the process, so you don't need to wait 7 hours, right? Because it's skipping steps. Hospice skips a bunch of steps. The medical examiner has to be notified, but the hospice does all that. And a funeral home should be there within 2 hours.
Yeah.
Stephanie had a couple of points. You have to move on that stuff quickly once a person transitions. You can't leave chilling in the bedroom, and you're absolutely right, Kenneth. What if a crime was committed? Stephanie asked a question. I think we probably covered that. Yes, it's the police and the medical examiner's office will work in conjunction and typically send the body to the medical examiner's office on something like that. I mean, there may be a chance. Usually a physician has to sign off, and if there's a bullet wound or a knife wound or something, you're not going to get a physician to sign off. So that's going to end up at the medical examiner's office.
Yeah, I want to respond to G Money's Hollywood talking about the holidays and how the media has reported that a lot of people do not plan on having a turkey or traditional Thanksgiving dinner this year due to cost. Like you, Jim, that's too bad, but that's the reality. And I will venture to say that last year, people had the same issue. Cost was an issue. Now, I'm going to say, as for me and my home, I'm not doing the traditional Thanksgiving dinner or anything like that. I usually cook and have people over and things like that. I'm not doing it, not because of the cost, and it's not like I have it like that. It's because I'm not feeling it. So I want to know how many people in Detroit and black and white land not really feeling this holiday season, Thanksgiving or Christmas. How many of you guys feel like, you know what, it's another day, thankful to see another day, but I mean, how many of you not feeling it? I mean, usually I have decorations. I usually, my friends that love me know I love poinsettias. So they usually buy me poinsettias. I have the poinsettias all over the place. I did put my wreath on my door the 1st of November, but beyond that, I'm just not feeling it this year.
Are you still watching that dog every now and then? Because you
Oh, you know what? She now I am gonna buy her
not poinsettias. They're poisonous to dogs, I believe.
oh, they
Good
made
evening,
me.
Mr.
I haven't
1213.
had her in about 3 weeks. Well, it's been about three. It's been about 3 weeks. I have not. Now you
Yeah, I don't
talk.
think poinsettias and dogs go together.
But then
Good
I won't
evening.
have her. Look, I won't have her till after the.
Okay, I'm just
If
giving
I
you a
get
heads.
poinsettias, I may not get poinsettias this year. Like I said, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it.
Just a heads up. Good evening from Ralph Ellison Park from Mr. 1213. And Rick's had the point about calls geared towards seniors. We received 7 to 10 calls a day. Who's profiting from this? People that are selling garbage is who's
Exactly.
profiting from it. William Davis, Vanessa said hello. I'll say hello to you. Good evening to you.
Yeah.
Eric was talking about some of the.
Yeah.
How would you know if a crime occurred, Stephanie Jackson? That's typically part of the process of investigating a death. The police investigate the death, and that again, do you take the body to the morgue or the funeral home? People that have plans in advance with the funeral home and a physician on. So typically, what you do is you have a doctor that knows they're treating you for diabetes or heart disease or whatever. So the first call is to the doctor to sign off on the death. The doctor will sign a death certificate, and then to the funeral home if everything's natural. Well, that's how that works. If it's unnatural, an accident or a homicide or a car accident, typically those all go downtown.
So Dewayla says that she's not feeling it this year. And Deborah Griffin said the same thing. She's really not feeling it this year. That's pretty interesting. We also have Eric Brown, who says that he plans on spending time with his family. That's usually what I would do, but as you know, my oldest son doesn't live in the state of Michigan anymore. The youngest one is here, but again, I'm just not feeling it. Now, I would say this: my family can tell you that I still do the traditional Sunday meal. I have people over every Sunday that I'm home. I cook a big meal from scratch and have people over to fellowship, which I think is very important. I think we have lost that art form, people sitting around the table, fellowshipping, eating,
I think you're
having a
right.
good time. I think it is a lost art, and that's a tradition that I've continued to.
And it saddens you because families are different now, right? It's kind of
Families are really different. So I started it, my grandparents would do it. So I just
right.
continued the tradition once I got married and had children. And even after I became a single person, I still had family, I still have children. So I continued to do that. So I was still, I still do that. But as far as turkey, Thanksgiving, and cranberry sauce and watching the parade on television, it's a no for me. It's a hard no for me.
I want
Hard.
Theodore to I think Mr. Perry to give us a little more information. He's talking about doing something different. I don't know what that means, to go to maybe Aruba or skiing in Aspen or something, or you're just talking about food. And
Right.
Karen's in the process of moving, so she's getting ready for that's where she'll have boxes stacked up on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward Alt 5085 is with you, Vanessa. He's not feeling it either.
Wow.
What is it? What is it?
I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. This is unusual for me. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm really excited. Now, I do plan something. Jim, you already know what that is. What I plan,
Yes.
and hopefully I will be there by then. But the whole decorating, the whole hey, no, it's a hard no for me. Hard no, thank you.
And Derek talks about America giving billions to Ukraine, Israel, Argentina, and the beat goes on. You're absolutely right. The question is that, we were talking a little earlier about Saudi Arabia and the trillions of dollars in oil over there, and the current president buddying up to the Saudi prince. It's it's all about the money, and it's unfortunate because that's the way people are.
Yeah. G
A
Money said,
duck. Theodore Perry's going for the dark meat, the duck. So
"Oh,
I've never.
duck
I
is
know.
greasy."
I know family members. A lot of Europeans. I'll just stick with that. Europeans celebrate with duck on Christmas.
Oh,
So,
now we can talk about something that's different. So this is Detroit Black and White. I think the Detroit Blacks celebrate their Thanksgiving dinner may look different than the whites. Detroit's whites Thanksgiving dinner. As
so
for
give me an example. You brought it up, so you got to elaborate.
well, okay. So for instance, I was talking to Tracy today, and we were talking about the food, and I told her I wasn't cooking. She's not even going to be here. But we started talking about we eat dressing. When I talk to my Caucasian friends, they say stuffing. I'm like, what?
It's
What
the
the
same thing.
No, no,
What
no.
kind? How do you?
Look, all my peeps that eat dressing, y'all tell me whether or not dressing and stuffing is the same thing. It's completely different, because I'm gonna tell you, if I go somewhere, if I decide I want that, and I go somewhere and somebody give me stuff and they look like it's stovetop stuffing,
Yeah, I know.
we gonna have problems. We some people make we eat sweet potato pie.
Yeah, Eric, the sweet potato pumpkin. I had it.
Potato pie. What you eat?
That
Pumpkin
doesn't.
pie?
I don't like pumpkin pie, so it doesn't. I'd rather have a piece of lemon meringue or something. I've had sweet potato pie.
So
Okay,
what
but
about,
that's just a small difference.
now let me ask
You're
you
still
this.
looking at an orange pie, like my shirt.
Yes, it's orange. Do you guys do the what's that, green bean casserole, string bean casserole, or something like that?
Yeah, I don't really go for that either.
Okay,
More traditional.
well, then you're not white. You're not white.
I mean, yeah.
You're not white. But we do collard greens or
No, I like collard greens, but not for Thanksgiving.
y'all just heard me, okay? Y'all just heard me. What else? Do you do pound cake? Because we do pound cakes.
No, I don't think so. I don't know why you do a pound.
And I don't know, but I mean, my Thanksgiving dinner, we always had cranberry sauce.
Yes.
Cranberry sauce with them pits in it. We had the smooth cranberry,
Real
right?
cranberry.
Right. And our dressing is made from cornbread from scratch.
Like Miss Sheila says, right?
Okay.
Cornbread, but it's the same thing as bread or crackers or
crackers. No.
You can make a pretty.
No.
What's up with the marshmallows and the potato salad?
What?
Yeah, I don't get that either, Derek. But maybe ambrosia with marshmallows, which had the little cherries and the coconut and that kind of stuff. But that's an old people's dish now.
Old people dish. We almost with them seasoned folks. Okay.
But we're not as far apart as you'd like to make it sound. Is all I'm getting at.
Okay, well, you know
turkey, and I like white meat and mashed potatoes and gravy and dressing or stuffing, no matter how it's made. Maybe some corn or green beans, and I'm happy. And I don't care. I'll eat pie. I'll eat a. You can make. I'll eat a cherry pie if that's the way it is. I'm good with that.
So Angela says it's not the same. Jim, dressing and stuffing are not the same. William Davis says it's not the same.
Not potato salad. Potato salad's for the 4th of July.
No, we have potato salad.
That's for your picnic. That's for your.
No, we have everything we could. Do y'all have chitterlings?
No, not
okay.
Typically.
Okay.
That's a southern dish.
Okay.
That's a southern
dish. It's a black dish.
Yeah, but it's kind of.
Par says, what did you say, Par Ors? I put it back up there, Teresa. I can't say. He said, Vanessa, Jim eats fresh peppers and sauce.
No, but that sounds interesting. But no pumpkin pie, Jan. Fried turkey. I've eaten fried turkey. I like fried turkey. I'm just afraid to burn the house down.
When I used to eat meat, fried turkey was that deal.
I've had fried turkey. It's delicious.
Well, we had somebody said they believe that the holidays, it might have been Eric. I just don't think the holidays are like they used to be. They're just nothing. Theodore
I
said
think
he
Edward's
mentioned
right.
chitterlings. Yeah, I did mention chitterlings. Now I
I
don't.
mean, I eat chicken livers if we're going that direction, but I can
We
eat
eat them
chicken livers.
too. Fried chicken livers.
I could eat chicken livers, turkey
Fried
liver.
chicken
Yeah, I
livers.
can do that. You can put that in the dressing, right? The heart and the whatever the
They
turkey.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that makes it a little moist, right?
Yeah. And Miss Sheila said, no, thank you, Miss Vanessa, on chitterlings. I agree with you, Miss Sheila. Chitterlings, no, thank you. Even when I was eating pork, meat, and things like that, I could not rock with the chitterlings. When I found out what chitterlings were,
Yeah, right.
and where
I'm
they
sure.
came from, and smelled them, and then look at them, they are not.
So you're talking tough, but you ain't acting tough, is what you're saying. And Rick's 5077, stuffing's in the cavity of the turkey, dressing is not. So, and saying that dressing is an independent dish where stuffing is, you know, we had such a big family that the stuffing went into turkey and outside the turkey. Theodore's gizzard, I'll eat gizzards. That's fine. That's not going to hurt you. But I'm not going that far.
So, Jim, are you going to have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, here's the thing. For the last, I don't know, 15 years, I've been going to the Lions game. So, yeah, a little, probably a turkey breast and not a whole turkey.
Okay.
And a few little sides because there's only a couple of us here. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to. Matter of fact, I know I am. I'm going to go to a relative's house and I'm going to hang out there a little bit. I will be cooking some collard greens and I will be making some dressing. And
so tell us what goes into your dressing. So everybody, give us a tip.
Well, I make my cornbread from scratch, right?
Cornbread, did you say?
Cornbread. You know what?
Yeah, that's not so unique. But go ahead, keep going.
Cornbread. I also have. I use a vegetable stock. You
mean like out of a can?
I'm sorry.
Like out of a can? Like a little, like a soup can or something? One of those vegetable
I use
stocks?
a can because it's a can.
Keep going. I'm just listening. I'm just getting some clarification.
Celery.
Okay.
Onions.
Yeah.
Because mine is a vegetarian. Well, vegetarian in the sense that I'm not using meat. It's not vegan because I do use eggs in my cornbread. So I do use some things from an animal. Breadcrumbs, butter. So you make your cornbread, take it out, you crumble it up, you pour the stock, the vegetable stock, as well as you've already cooked the peppers. Cut up the celery and the onions, and you use your seasonings. You put it together, and I do cheat though. I do use vegetable soup. I will use a can.
Yeah. See, now we're getting to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Sharon Winston was gifted. Her daughter was gifted a Cajun fried turkey. That sounds really interesting from Popeyes. And Derek wants to know what you inject your turkey with, Vanessa. I mean, you're kind of struggling with that dressing thing. Yeah.
Listen, Tracy, Dwayla, would you tell this man I can burn and my dressing is thebomb.com? I really don't like giving out my recipe.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Right? Because I want people to come and say, hey, Vanessa, what? Listen, the base of it is real cornbread, not no Jiffy cornbread.
Not Wonder Bread.
From scratch, okay? That's the base, all right? And I use vegetable stock because I use vegetable stock for me, but I use chicken stock for those people who eat meat because
and somebody that you know is weighing in on the conversation.
See, Tracy said my Vanessa dressing is the bomb. Vanessa cooking is on point.
Oh, I don't have any doubt. That wasn't my point. I just wanted to know what was different.
Would you tell him to listen? I know what I'm doing in the kitchen.
If Tracy says it, I believe it. How's that?
Look, even Miles Wilson said dressing is top tier.
I get to go with Miles. I trust Miles.
So what we're gonna do is, with the drunk, I do the alcoholic punch on the side. But at any rate, It is 9:30. It's been a blast. We'll see you again on Friday evening. You'll join us. I don't know what guests we're going to have on Friday, but we're going to have somebody. And our plan is to have a really fun-filled month of December. And when we mean fun-filled, we're going to have some interesting guests on the show the month of December. But check us out on Friday evening and then again on Saturday morning. We love you all. We thank you all.
Can I add just one more thing?
Yes.
Before we leave, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm going to G Money Hollywood's. He's having barbecue grilled salmon and macaroni and cheese with crab meat and spinach salad and sweet potato pie, Cabernet, and he's going to watch the Lions and chill. That sounds like a perfect Thanksgiving.
Oh, that mac and cheese sounds really good. Do you have mac and cheese at your
No.
Thanksgiving dinner? Okay. See, that's a difference too. We always have mac and cheese. Bye.